Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mystery King's Vanguard channel, and today bringing to you my first ever deck profile for the D series, and it will be for Baromagnes. Now, okay, I know it's been quite a while since the release of DBT01 for English at least. I know this list is a really late deck profile, but I wanted to make a list that I am very confident in sharing with you guys, like something that's actually competitively viable. Like I have brought this exact list to quite a few tournaments. If you've been keeping track with my Twitter, I've actually topped like two tournaments back to back together with this list, going through like matchups against like Trickstar, Bastion, actually any meta matchup you can think of, Bruce as well. Now, okay, I would like to explain the whole philosophy of this whole deck. It's basically you are playing a deck that basically focuses on one thing, and is to turbo to your 15 soul as early as possible. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this, but I personally feel that having 15 as early as possible is pretty much okay. It's instrumental, I would say, because in the current meta right now, in the current meta landscape, I would say we take a look at the big decks now, which is Bastion, Bruce, and Trickster. These are the main few big decks we can think of. Now, the thing is, these decks have a stronger turn 4 onwards than you do as a barrel deck, because you don't really push out as much aggression like Bruce can. Like, they can plus so much, they can do fire attacks. I mean, so can you, but their payoff is so much larger. Their columns are way bigger. And if you're, let's say, fighting against like Trickstar, their numbers are like significantly larger than what you are able to push out. That's why I feel that I want to be able to capitalize on Baromagnes' strongest points, which is on the turn 3. Because your turn 3 is effectively you have the highest ceiling in current D right now, I feel. Like, since you're able to do your plus crit, and if you do get your 15 soul off, and that's even better, you can even get and you can get 5 attacks out of it. I know there are people who tell me that there's no point turboing it to 15 because you leave yourself wide open, but the thing is, even if you hold back that 1 or 2 card that you want to save to guard, and there are cards that turn into soul, which is what the majority of the deck is, then you're not gonna hit your 15 soul the next turn anyways, because you are forced to throw out those pieces for guarding if you want to hold on to them for some reason. That's why I feel that even if you were to hold on to it to hope you guard, you're technically not gonna gain any more souls. So it's very likely you're gonna be stuck on 10 souls on the next turn as well. So you're not getting anywhere, and the quality of your turns kind of diminish after that. That's why I feel that this is the whole idea. This is why I feel that my idea is actually one of the more optimal ones I can think of. So the right line is very simple. We are playing the one for barrel, like on right. This one on right, you soul charge 1. Then when you when you winner over by Baromagnes, you can choose a card from your soul and put it into hand, draw 1 and soul charge 1. So this technically gets you 2 soul. The right line, there's nothing much to be said about there. Sorry for the glare. So yeah, I'll put it aside right here. Now, going over the grade 3s, I would like to. I'm pretty sure I mentioned earlier that every card that you draw in the deck turns into a card in soul, which every grade 3 is no exception. So first off, what running is the Phantasma Magician Curtis. Basically, on place on Rearguard Circle, if you got a Baromagnes Vanguard, you may soul charge 2. So that's a very big part of the skill that helps the deck to hit the 15 soul as early as you can. And second skill is X skill. If your soul has 10 or more cards, you may counterblast 2 to give your whole front row plus 5,000 power. Do note that the 5,000 power only gives to the existing units, so if you do this together on a Baro 15 soul turn, the units that get called doesn't get the 5k. So do take note of that. The 15 soul, okay, the counterblast 2 kind of doesn't come up very often. The only times that I feel you would want to do it is if, one, you have all the CB in the world to actually, use it, or you want to try to end the game that turn. And finally, if you have one of this guy to actually refund the cost, like make it like a counterblast 1 for 5k to hold front row, I guess you could do that. So that's why I am playing 4 of these. This is like an instant staple in Baromagnes deck. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be running him. So 4 of that. Next, we'll be moving on to is, okay, I am running 2 Crawl You Insect. Basically, what he does is basically counterblast 1 on play. You may soul charge 1, and you may give a unit 10,000 power for every 5 card you have in soul. and if you have 10 or more soul, you get to draw one. So basically this turns into, like, as mentioned earlier, anything that you draw in the deck turns into card in soul. But the reason why I'm not playing any more of this is because orders are restricted to once per turn. Like, you only can play one order a turn, like, unless you're Zorga, obviously. And okay, basically I don't want to be able to flood my hand too much with order, because if you, let's say, have two of these in hand, the second one doesn't turn into card in soul, which is something you want to kind of avoid. That's why I am still playing two. So if I do draw into it, then yep, I have more opportunity to draw into it, but not to the point whereby it ruins the whole consistency of the deck. So two of these guys. Okay, and next, I think this is where my list kind of gets a bit more conventional, like, not really conventional, but yeah, more unique to me. Is I'm playing two of the Time Fissuring Fist Colossus, the one that we got from the Bruce Trial deck. Yes, I'm pretty sure you are questioning, like, why are you playing like a Final Rush card? So basically, his full skill is when this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, you may soul charge one. So doesn't require to have Final Rush or be on a Bruce Vanguard, so it's just a soul charge one. Then just ignore the second half of the skill, it doesn't matter. So basically, same idea here, following the whole idea of every card that you draw in the deck turns into a card in soul. That's why this is two, it's very important. And finally, to round off my grade 3s, I am playing one Baromagnes. So on what I mentioned earlier, every card in your hand turns into a card in soul. For Baromagnes, as a one-off, it's no different. Basically, if you over Persona ride him, it's basically one card in soul, but on turn 4 at least. So it's a soul charge that you don't get immediately on like turn 3. So that's why I'm playing at a very low count, and you can call it like a ceiling increase. Like, if you want to ensure that you're able to close up the game that turn, then you can just Persona ride this. But the whole idea of you can easily go by without running this card. I can absolutely agree to running 0 in your main deck and 1 in your right deck, and that's it, because of how important every card is. Like, if you kind of break with a whole hang of triggers, like you don't get enough soul charge pieces, you kind of do fall flat against most matchups. Sorry. So yeah. So just to mention, this can easily become anything. It can be a third Colossus if you want it to, or you can turn it into one more of the Crawl You Insect. It's up to you. I'm personally playing one off, so yeah, it's very flexible. So it's up to you. And next, I am for grade 2s is very generic across all Baromagnes list. First off, we will be playing is Selfish Engraver. Basically, when this unit attack hits, it soul charges one. So if you get it on turn 2, it immediately puts pressure on your opponent. And second skill is at the end of battle, this unit attack. It can be anything. It can be attack Rearguard or Vanguard. You may move this unit to soul. If you have 10 or more soul, that is, you may counter charge one. So this is basically to help refund your Curtis should you have counter blasted 2, or if you feel that your opponent's gonna be damage denying you. So to ensure that you have a Baromagnes, a counter blast for Baromagnes next turn, you can always play him out. And yeah. Okay, next will be next is the Electro Spartan 3 off. I mean, if you are able to play, okay, if you're gonna play the Bruce right line, which I've seen some people do with Baromagnes, you can pump this out to 4 if you're gonna do that, but I don't recommend it. I personally tried it and I wouldn't say it's very good. Yeah, so 2 of that. Next, going over grade 1s. Now this is where I'm pretty sure I've seen most lists playing this as a 3 off, which is Brother Soul, which I personally opted for 4. Why 4 is because this card is immediately online on turn 1. So if you get one of them, you get 2 charge. If you get 2 in your starting hand even, you can get to like chuck even more so. That's why, as I mentioned earlier, I don't want my... Okay, that's why I don't want to be playing more of these, because I am already running 6 orders, which in my opinion is actually a lot already. So you don't really want your hand to get stuck with too much order that you can't guard with, or you know, something like that, or extra orders that you can't even use at all after doing once per turn. So yeah, I'm playing 4 Brother Soul, and I feel that the fact that it's a turn 1 card kind of outweighs the fact that, you know, you don't want to be playing as many orders to reduce the chance of you breaking, in a sense. So that's why I'm still playing 4 of that. And next is for Perfect Guard. I don't think I need to explain what this does. So yep, that 4 of it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention what Baromagnes actually does. Is basically okay, when this unit attacks counter blast 1, you may, okay, if you have 5 or more soul, you may draw 1 card, and if you have 10 soul, you get plus 10 10,000 power and 1 critical. And if you have 15 or more, so you're able to get, okay, you're able to put in all rear guards into a field, like including opponents, and you can get a call out too. So it's basically 5 attacks in a turn, like I mentioned earlier. Sorry for not mentioning Baromagnes skill, because like, yeah, apologies. Next, I am playing a total of 3 Steam Battler Gangaram, I think that's what it's called. So basically, he has 2 skill, but only one of it is relevant to the deck, which is on place on rearguard circle, you can soul charge 1. So like, following same as the whole deck's philosophy, any card that you draw turns into card in soul. There's not a perfect guard or a trigger. That's why we are playing this at 4 off. So basically, whatever that can turn into card in soul, I'll try my best to just chuck it in. And finally, I am still main decking 2 Deep Sonica for some extra ceiling. So same reason as why I will play the Baromagnes as 1 off. So if you want to, like, you know, get more of these out, you can probably change the last one into a 4th of this, but I personally won't recommend it because this doesn't turn to a card in soul, which, yeah. So that's it for grade 1's trigger lineup. Okay, this is where I think it can vary depending on player. So first is the over trigger. You can easily play the Crate Elemental one, but personally I prefer having the Tanky and the Crate because threatening lethal on your Vanguard that every turn you get an extra critical, so you'll be swinging like 3 crits by 3 crits is a lot more scary, deadlier. That's one. And yep, 3 draw triggers. I'm pretty sure like you value crits a lot more in the deck because crits do have more shield value. That's why I am still running 8 crits instead of, like, you know, 4 draws and 7 crits. But it's up to you. I think both both ratios work just fine. And finally, the 4 heal. So yep, that's about it for this whole deck profile. I hope that this actually helps you to get a better understanding of how Baromagnes actually works, because I personally feel that this deck doesn't really work very well when you're competing against the other meta decks on turn 4. That's why I don't really like the idea of playing that many Baromagnes. Like, if you're playing that many Baromagnes, I get is for the being able to persona right consistently, but the thing is, Baromagnes, you're playing on a faster time bomb compared to most decks, like other than Zorga, because you'll be seeing through so much of that by soul charging. Yeah, that's why I don't feel that you should be looking forward such a late game like a turn 4 or turn 5, like, because even if you do reach that late in the game, and sorry about the lighting, even if you do have the cards in hand to actually, like, you know, survive their turn, something like that, and yeah, you'll probably be decking out by then. So that's why I have decided to go with this list. And yep, I hope you'll be able to use this deck. I hope you'll be able to enjoy using this deck, because I actually put in a lot of thought into it. So yep, thanks.